over the coming decades going to be able to balance our budget and not spend more than we take in, we have to make sure that the promises we make in Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare are promises we can keep. And there are various ways of doing that. One is we could raise taxes on people. That's not the way. Corporations are people, my friend. Corporations are people, my friend. We can raise taxes on. Of course they are. Everything corporations earn ultimately goes to people. So, where do you think it goes? What? Whose pockets? Whose pockets? People's pockets. Okay, human beings, my friend. So number one, you can raise taxes. You can raise taxes. That's not the approach that I would take. Number two, you can make sure that the promises we make are promises that we can keep. And in my view, the areas that you have to consider are higher income people.
Well, a course of law, actually, you know, Black Law Dictionary, 7th edition. Look it up, you know. What's this? Person. What's a person? Person. A human being, an entity, such as a corporation that is recognized by a law as having the rights and duties of a human being, the living body of a human being. Contraband found on the smuggler's person. And here it is, artificial person. An entity such as a corporation created by law and given certain legal rights and duties of a human being, and being real or imaginary, who, for the purpose of legal reasoning, is treated more or less as a human being. More or less. Artificial person. It's a natural person. Human being has distinguished from an artificial person created by a law. Distinguished.
Everybody makes a mistake once in a while, but I just can't be personally responsible. That's one of the weaknesses of a partnership, isn't it, Sid?
Well, maybe you better incorporate the store.
Incorporate?
Yes. Incorporating would give you the big advantage of what you want right now. Limited liability. You start with a group of people who want to invest their money in a company. Then these people apply for a charter as a corporation. This government issues a charter to that corporation. Now that corporation operates legally as an individual person. It is not a group of people. It is under the law a legal person.
Imperial Steel Incorporated has many of the legal rights of a person. It can buy and sell property. It can borrow money. It can sue in court and be sued. It carries on a business. Imperial Steel, along with thousands of other legal persons, is a part of our daily living. It is a member of our society.
Having acquired the legal rights and protections of a person, the question arises, what kind of person is the corporation?
Corporations were given the rights of immortal persons, but then special kinds of persons, persons who have no moral conscience.
Hey, you know what? It's much worse than what we think it is. I mean, forget about the economy, not having any jobs, foreclosures, this cap and trade crap that this man is trying to push through, the energy supplies that they're saying that everyone has to have in their homes. Forget about all of that. I mean, here's really where the treason and the subversion begins. And I'm going to read something from my journal that I keep. It says, at our innocent birth, we are all born into slavery. I don't care if you're Bill Gates or the corner bum. If you were registered at birth and were given a birth certificate, you are human chattel to whatever state you were born in and to the United States Incorporated. Our birth certificates have our name listed with all caps. This means that we are not human or a person to the government, but a corporation to whom the federal government can borrow against at will to pay off their debts to the international banking cartel, also known as the Federal Reserve. The certified copy of our birth certificate is located at the U.S. Department of Commerce as registered securities. Each of us is worth approximately $1 million in collateral. The birth certificates are traded on the New York Stock Exchange against our knowledge and against our will for many of us. In Volume 20, Corpus Juris Secundum, I'm probably not saying that right, 1785, it states that the District of Columbia Corporation, which is the United States government, is a foreign corporation with respect to a state. Did you get that? Did you hear what I just said? That the United States government is a foreign corporation with respect to a state. A corporation is a fictitious entity that needs a living entity to conduct business for them. This is the person that the government created on our birth certificate. Instead of copying it in our Christian name, which is combined with lowercase and uppercase of the alphabet, the government recorded all our names in caps. And like I said before, this denotes a corporation. What we are straw men, which are third parties used for their name only to partake in a transaction for a non-living entity, such as a corporation. It also means one who acts as an agent for others for the purposes of taking title to real property and executing whatever documents and instruments that the principal may direct. So when the government deals with Rain Man, all caps, they're dealing with their government-created corporation. And Rain Man, the human, acts on behalf of Rain Man, the corporation, every time I sign Rain Man's name to an official document. We're not de jure free men and women who thought that they were living in the United States of America, the land of the free and home of the brave, because our states signed us over to the United States Corporation or the United States Incorporated. They signed us over to their debts as indentured corporations who are working to pay off their state's debts, the United States Incorporation debts, so that this money is going back into the pockets of the Federal Reserve. Follow me here. From 1928 to 1932, the Geneva Convention was held at Geneva, Switzerland, with all nations participating to decide the policy for all participating countries. In 1930, the U.S., Great Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and Portugal declared bankruptcy. Do you need me to repeat that for you? Because remember, during the 1930s, there was the Great Depression. Nobody knew how they were going to get out of this depression. So the international bankers who were holding all the money said, listen, if you sign your countries over to me, then we'll give you the money to get out of the Great Depression. But the only thing is that you're going to have to get some way. You're going to have to pay us back our money, and this is going to be it's like a perpetual thing. It's like we probably had paid them back 1,000,000 times over, but because they were able to take advantage of us, they've allowed this to continue. So the Roosevelt, who was the demon president at the time, he had to find a way to incorporate the bankruptcy so that the corporation, the United States Incorporated, the government, would have a legal case on the books to employ, acknowledge, and to defend the bankruptcy. Roosevelt immediately instituted the banking holiday and began to pull gold coins out of circulation. He ordered all Americans to turn in their gold, which of course was unlawful and unconstitutional. He also set up a corrupt Supreme Court to give him the bankruptcy case, Erie R.R. versus Tompkins. At that time, the American Law Institute and the National Conference of Commissions on Uniform State Laws started shaping the Uniform Commercial Code, which is the law merchants code for the administration of the bankruptcy. There were 48 states who acknowledged the full faith credit of their states, including the citizens who were used as collateral for loans of credit from the Federal Reserve System. The United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 1 states that foreign judgment should be imparted faith and credit as it had by law uses of states of its origin. That's the 48 states that decided to go in with the bankruptcy. That foreign statutes, the United States Incorporated, should be followed in whatever state they had claim, which again was in all 48 states. So in essence, the foreign federal government, a business operating in the District of Columbia, has the legal rights to assume control of all assets belonging to American citizens, which is their persons and their belongings, which was started by our parents registering for our birth certificate. Now, supposedly every lawyer has to take a secret oath to support this bankruptcy. How do they accomplish this? They promise never to reveal who the true creditor party is in the bankruptcy procedures. These lawyers never reveal to their own clients, who are you, who the principal of the proceeding is. So how can a defendant know what the true nature of the action is? Your lawyer cannot disclose this to you because then they'd have to ID the true creditor, the international bankers, also known as the Federal Reserve. They would also have to reveal how you unknowingly pledged your body and your assets as a party to the corporate United States debt. And this includes you too, liberal. This is the reason why we, the de jure men and women, citizens of the United States of America, are paying our taxes to pay off the debt of the United States Incorporated back into the pockets of the banking cartels that run the Federal Reserve. The IRS is an agent of the creditor, the Federal Reserve. So all of the politicians who are lawyers took an oath to defraud their citizens. The United States Corporation, Joe Schmo, in which the human Joe Schmo acts as Joe Schmo's, the corporation's representative. And the government conveniently and piously collects off of the hard work and sweats of Americans. Even the flags in the court system are unauthorized. Under Title 4 USA Codes, Chapter 1, Section 1 and 2, the yellow fringes on the border of the flag is unauthorized. And Section 3 states to do so is a mutilation. Now the yellow fringes represents no nation and no constitution. And we find these flags in all of our courts throughout the nation. I've left all of the links for you guys. Listen, I've been up for days after discovering this. Very upset, very angry. Please just make sure that this video, or at least the links, get passed around to everybody that you know. It's far more worse than what we think. You know, we're running around here arguing about whether the Democrats are going to do this and the Republicans are going to do that, and here these guys are all in the same bed. They all know damn well that every American citizen is chattel to a foreign institution, that they have allowed this foreign government, which is operating in the District of Columbia, named the United States Incorporated, to exploit its the natural citizens of the United States of America, taking our money to pay off this foreign entity's debt. And they say nothing. You know, Glenn Beck talks about faith, hope, and charity. Why isn't he talking about this? Bill O'Reilly talking about we're in a no-spin zone. Here's a fool that continually says that moderate Muslims, and he doesn't even know that there's no such thing. That's as big of an oxymoron as they can ever be, a moderate Muslim. But yet he spins back and forth with Obama's this and he does that. Then he says, but the man is this. I mean, you know, we can't even trust our own media anymore. You know, why aren't they reporting this? They're trying to deter us, take our mind off of the really important things, and that's getting our names back and seceding from having to pay our taxes to a foreign entity who has raped our grandparents, our parents' parents.